Okay, so test number 3 and 4. I have all the paints mixed 2 to 1, so 2 acrylic paint to 1 pouring medium. So like 2 of these acrylic paint to 1 of the pouring medium there. All right, so what I'm going to try to do is get this all poured up, get the process down, so that way I can replicate it whenever I do it on the guitar. So we have a straw here at the ready, and then we also have on the ground, we have that, the heat gun. So let's try this. So we got black paint as our base. Oh, and the difference is here. So this side, sorry, real quick, this side is an actual acrylic paint, acrylic gold paint. And then it mixed properly 2 to 1 with the pouring medium. And then this one is just the pouring medium with mica powder, gold mica powder. So I want to see what the difference is. So here I go with this. All 3 colors. So let me get my straw and blow them. Let me grab this. Here we go. Get some of the paint off my hands. All right, the good thing is I have a good amount of working time because it's all wet paint that I'm working with. That's one thing I've realized is you have more working time than you think. Also, I'm going to use the heat gun. right, so as I'm letting these dry, I'm noticing that they're a little chunky, like wavy. You know, you can kind of see the waves here. But I'm just like, well, I don't want this. So I'm gonna try to do, and you can see on this one too, you can see the formation. So I did this one time before where I had this one, which is what originally started me wanting to have it on a guitar, because this just looks so cool. But I'm really thin, so there's not a lot of chunkiness to it. So I'm gonna try one more since I have them all mixed up and paint's ready to go, where I get the black as thin as possible, and I'll show you guys that process and see if I can do it this time. So here I go. How it turns out. I'm probably gonna do what I did to the other ones, where I get the paintbrush here and I just kind of like paint the sides black that are potentially missed. But yeah, there you go. I won't bore you with that, but that's what I'll do to this one. So I'll cover all that with black. Okay. Last thing I'll say is that I was thinking about it, and probably the easiest thing to get like smaller drips, because you can see I was having a tough time pouring it on there. Like if I were to drip it. So if I took the mixing stick that I have and just do a little drip like that, that would probably be the easiest way. Of course, this one's not that good of one because I messed up, but the consistency of these to be able to drip it onto the painting would probably be a lot better. And then I'm gonna have the cup there to help me control drippage. There you go, see? So I think in that, and then if I blow it out, then I think it should be fine. But that could help me control the amount of paint that I put on the canvas. Here's a progress shot. So here's the first one that I did, and you can see in here, let's see if I can get you a view of the bubbles and stuff. Yeah, there you go. You can see all the ridgy bumpiness to it. That's so far. These are still drying, but a little less bubbly, but could still dry bubbly. Same technique here, but just a different paint I used. And then here's the super laid out one that I blew a lot of the paint off. And I still see it's like kind of ridgy, but it's definitely thinner. then we have this one here that I did. This ridgy, but yeah, just trying different paint schemes, different techniques as I go, trying to fine tune mine and figure it out. Okay, so a last update on these tests here. They're all dry now. At least most of them. I'm not going to push that hard. But it's the next morning. The one with tape, I don't think I liked how that turned out. I actually think I liked it whenever I would just wipe the edges, because then I'd be able to have the cool effect drag all the way down. Like that. There, like that one's really cool. Same thing here on this one, like have all that coming down the sides. And then I would just, whenever I first poured it, I just kind of monitored it at first and then wiped the edges. I came back and made sure nothing dripped a little bit more and then wiped again. And that was it. But the test here I did with this one, I think was definitely successful in terms of having it less bumpy, as you can see. And that's pretty darn thin. In terms of having something that's not going to separate. Like there's a little bit of separation there. But as for a final project, that's pretty good. So I'll have to pour really thin on the guitar, because you can see this one here broke apart, all that in there, which, you know, is cool. If you're into that kind of stuff, you know, that's fine. But since I'm putting this on the guitar that I need to be playable, I don't want it to be that thick and chunky, because I still want to like hold it and feel it, and we'll see what resin does. Also, side note is I had a fan going, and I'm also probably not going to have a fan going whenever I do this side here. I'm going to pour this one maybe a little bit thicker like I have been doing, and then this one thin like that one. Or vice versa, you know, whatever. Actually, I might pour this one thin. But anyway, and then I'm not going to have a fan going while they dry. See if that affects it. Okay, so we're back again with one more big test. I have each of these set differently. So these were the ones I did originally. This is the one that I liked here. As you can see, it's not super raised, just a little bit, but it's definitely the one that I'm trying to go for here. So the one thing I'm trying to test out now is if I pour on this side and it runs over, how do I clean it off but still make it look like an acrylic pour on the other side, because I don't want to ruin the other side once I pour the other side, both sides, if that makes sense. But I labeled them each, so this one's going to be thin, just the same exact thing as this side, just on this side here. And then this one, well actually, this one's going to be thick. Oh wow. This one's going to be thick, but with no fan. I had a fan running just because it was like hot down here and I was trying to cool it off. And it kind of, I think it might have caused the cracking here to dry on top first before it was ready. So I'm just going to do this side thick, but no fan. Also trying to see the runoff along the edges. See what I can do there. And then lastly, I have this one here, which is going to be thin, but with cells, so try to have more cells, but have it thin like this one right here. And then with silicone oil, which is this stuff I got in one of the mixing kits here. So I'm gonna try that out on the last one that I do, see if it works. So here I go. All right, so last thing I did was I taped this side, because I was like, you know what, in case these ruin it, I want to have something to see if I can keep it from getting ruined. So I'm going to try to tape this design, see if that works, and if it peels away any of the tape, or the tape peels away any of the paint on that side. So we'll see. Now let's get to pouring. So we'll start with black. I'm going to do the thin side first. So by my memory, there's a pretty thin amount. And now I just pour it around the sides here. It's kind of nice because I don't have to go to all the corners, but I still should. And again, sorry I'm doing this with one hand. could be using two, but I don't know where my stand is. Boy. Maybe add just a little bit more. And just a little bit of patience here. No, not yet, not yet, not yet. Dang, this is tough. Getting it really thin like this is going to be really tough on the actual guitar. Okay, I'm going to add just a little bit more. I'm just going to bring it to the edge here. Speed this up just a little bit. Okay, pretty good. Alright, so that one is done there. Let's drip. So I said white first, and then gold, and then blue. And then gold. Cool. And blue. And the reason why I'm doing these dipsticks is I remember that the last time I did this, just a little too much. Okay, I still probably did too much, but we'll see. Let's give her a blow. Nice. That is looking really sick. Coolio. Alright, that one's not super thin, but all good nonetheless. So, it's looking fine and dandy. Let's do the thick boy over here. Oh, so much easier to move around. Now I know it's partially getting not as thick whenever I push it over the edges like this, but it is part of having extra. Alright, let me wipe off my hands. Okay, that is ready for paint. So I'll just kind of pour this one on. It's gonna end up being a lot. One thing I found is that it's almost less is more, so that will probably be a really thick boy. I mean, a thick painting. And last but not least, blue. Very thick. I took that to its literal meaning. Okay, blow time. I want more gold in this one, so let me have it. Nice, look at that. Very cool. Okay, so this is the last test here. Like I said, this is the thin with cells and silicone oil. So I mixed a little bit of this silicone oil into each one of these here. So I'm gonna try this out now. So first I gotta get this thin. greatest. Pretty cool cells.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So I'll get back to you guys with this whenever it finishes drying. All of them, I'm going to go through and wipe them / paint up some of the black spots that it didn't tend to get on just this one right here. But yeah, it should be good.